Welcome everyone to another edition of your regularly scheduled morning workout talk brought to you by Literary Pharaoh. Today is a high of 88 and a low of 70. Humidity in the 50% humidity. And my fake weather voice. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just acting like one. Yeah, it's Friday, man. It's been a fast week, hasn't it, folks? These weeks are just going by fast. It's a blur. I remember my last morning workout talk. Not the last one, but I think the one on Monday. No, hold on. Was it Monday? No, I don't know. It was one of the ones I did, and I was talking to you guys about how it was going to be a busy week for me. I think that was a Wednesday one, I believe. Yeah, that was the last one I did. Yeah, the weeks, it's been very productive. I've been very productive this week, and usually whenever we have a feeling of anxiety towards something that we're about to do, it's normal. You know, I always tell people, whenever you're dealing with certain emotions that people tell you that you shouldn't have, trying to eliminate it totally is asinine. It's actually counterproductive, and to be honest with you, it does more damage than anything. So some people tell you, don't feel sad or don't feel anxiety. We all have varying degrees of those so-called negative emotions. But again, I've always told you guys there's a reason why we have dual elements in life. There's a reason why there's an up and a down, a left and a right and a wrong, a good and a bad, a righteous and an unrighteous, male and female. There's a reason why opposites exist in our current reality. And I think that the task that should be given to us is to try to take those dual components and balance them and make them work in our favor. So last week, not last week, but Wednesday of this week, I don't think I actually mentioned to you guys how I had a little bit of anxiety, because it was a lot. We're going to different places and doing all these interviews. They voted me team lead, team captain, without me having a say so in it. And the reason why I have a level of angst, or a level of anxiety, I should say, is that not because I think that I'm not capable. It's because I have a high expectation of myself, and my ambition and my inner drive not to fail is what causes the angst, or causes the anxiety, I should say. I keep saying angst. Angst is different. I'm not angry. I'm not anxiety. You may ask yourself, like, why are you having anxiety? Well, that's why. Because in any means of life, whether you are an athlete or anything that you do, whether you're a professional athlete or a singer or an entertainer or a coach or any job you have, teacher, doctor, lawyers, whatever, if you care enough about your profession, or you have a degree of self-worth, there's always going to be varying levels of anxiety levels that resides within the person, especially if you care about the outcomes of what you're doing. If you care about the end results, if you care about your self-image, you're going to have those things, because nobody wants to look like an idiot. So the imagination of failure at times is a backhanded way of being motivated. Oftentimes they tell us not to have negative thoughts and think positive, but I think that that's a losing battle. But I think within the mind's infrastructure, there's built in those dual elements, and you have to be able to take both of them and use them for your favor. So you just can't let anxiety cripple you. See, that's where you get to the point where it's dangerous, where something overwhelms you. I've talked to you guys before about not letting anything control you. Don't be an addict. You control it. You be the God. You be the generator, organizer, and dispenser of your own reality. You be the one to say, hey, man, I'm not allowing this itch to happen. I'm not going to let food control me. I'm not going to let porn control me. I'm not going to let anything. I'm not going to let women control me. Because when you've lost yourself in something external outside yourself, then you've lost yourself. Then that means the external circumstances have now become your master. No longer do you have control over your own environment. No longer do you have control over your own reality. You're just being a slave to whatever controls you. But that goes back again to that dual concept that I'm telling you guys about. All right, you have to don't eliminate. Don't go around trying to. I gotta get rid of this, or I'm not supposed to feel this way. You know, you listen to those people who give speeches about, those motivational speakers that tell you not to do this. No, telling people not to do something is the worst thing you can do. I think the battle is not trying to find an easy way out of our sometimes negative dispositions, and I call them negative dispositions because negative and positive both work synergistically in our paradigm, in our reality. So we have to be able to take both concepts. You can't eliminate one. Trying to eliminate one is analogous to death, because you're getting rid of a principle that's indelibly etched into our reality. You can't remove it. It's here to stay. Negative, positive. It's here. Again, the task is not to let either one overwhelm you. Even being overly positive is insane. People who are always smiling all the time, laughing, like that's not normal either. That's kind of weird. That's weird. And people who are like that, and people say, oh, this person is always smiling, they have a great personality. Do you know that most of those people have another extreme that you may not know about? They may have extreme depression, and they may possess extreme sadness that they don't show to you, that they are masking with their over exaggerating the positivity by always smiling in your face and laughing and joking, and you think, oh, this person is so lighthearted. You don't know what they deal with. You don't know their darker demons. So whenever someone is showing you something that seems like it's overkill on one side, you better believe that there's another end to that pendulum, all right, that's equally as extreme, but on the opposite end. So if someone's extremely always happy all the time, there's a good chance that they're extremely always sad and depressed in times where you don't see them. It's like a fat person trying to tell you, it's like a person who's obese trying to tell you how to be healthy. Well, you're talking a good game, but I'm looking at you. You don't even live what you speak. So in one extreme, you have knowledge about health, and in another extreme, you're eating unhealthy. You see what I mean? The point I'm making is that what's shown to you oftentimes is not what's seen. What seems evident is not always what it is. Okay, so again, motivational speakers are people who are trying to always tell people, do this, do that, don't do this. No. The task of a god of a planet, which we are, you don't have to believe you are, but I believe I am. So that's the problem with people. Many of you guys, you don't believe that you are a god. Not in the sense that religion has taught you. I'm talking about a god of your own life, like controller of your own life. Because it's hard to be fully responsible and take full accountability of the things that are happening in your life if you continue to give it off to something else that's outside of you. That's a cop-out. That's weak. People who are steeped into religion, that's the weakest mindset you can have. Because you do not want to take control of your life. You think that it's a sin to take control of your life. You have to beg and wait and pray for something outside of you to do it for you while you wait. And then anything that happens that's generated by you, you won't give yourself any credit. All right? You'll just say, oh, this God did it. Now, the God you're talking about doesn't even exist. All right? You're slowly taking away the motivational components that can be used to motivate you for the next task at hand. So if you can't take credit for something that you've accomplished now in real time, and you're giving it off to some benevolent sky god with a big ass beard in the sky that's watching over you, that's gonna strike you to hell if you don't obey him or her, whoever you think your God is, then you're constantly wallowing in a mire of obscurity. Like you're just nothing. You're just there. You have no purpose. All right, you have none. You may think you have purpose, but then anything that happens, you're giving credit to something that you haven't seen, touched. No, the only person that's here is you. The only person that's God is you. The God is in you. The God is in your brain. The God is between your temple. The God is in your thinking process. The God is in the things that you do. So it's not this idea that we're supposed to try to eliminate the hard things in our lives. We're supposed to take both the hard and the good and mix them all together, and to create harmonious balance in the things that we do. And it has to be shown. It's made evident by our practices, how we speak, how we treat people, how we treat ourselves. Okay? Those things are critical. These are very important. So yeah, that anxiety that I had, it's what propelled me to do a good job, because I don't want to fail. All right, but I didn't let it overwhelm me. I wasn't so anxious that I was like, oh, I was so scared. And then when I go inside and do my job, I'm like, oh my God, I can't talk to people. No. There's something in all of us. We all want to do our best. And the world says be great. But when you say be great, what's attached to that saying, when you hear people say be great, what's attached to that is some sort of implied message that you are being great for others to see. So when you say be great in what context? Be great based on what? What measures that greatness? Because see, when you say be great according to who? According to the metric that the world has set, or according to your metric? So I don't like to use the word be great. I say do the best within your powers. Whatever capacity you have to do your best, do your best. Because your best might not be the best to somebody else. It's subjective. It's opinion based. But everyone is at a certain level, and you have to operate best at what level best fits your current status or your current state. You can't provide or do something that you don't have. All right? I can't ask a person who's never went to a gym a day in their life to do a bunch of sprints. It's not going to work out. They have to do their best and start slow and incrementally work up to that higher level. But just know every day, just do your best every day, do your best every day, do your best every day, do your best. Even though your production may not be as good as it was before, but in your mind, you're still telling yourself, I'm doing my best, I'm doing my best, I'm doing my best. And somehow muscle memory, cellular memory, nerve memory, brain memory, because every organ in the body has its own brain, everything starts to work synergistically together, and all of a sudden you start producing good things, because you're telling yourself all the time that I'm going to give my best, I'm going to do my best. All right? And you have to be your own worst critic. You can't overhype yourself. You can't pat yourself on the back too damn much either. All right? A lot of times when people do something great, they like to read their own press clippings and, wow, this girl is insane. Is she trying to go into the gym at 4:39? This guy's opening. Is he going to let her in? Hold on. Oh, she must work here. Hold on. They both must. Okay, I think they both work here. They both. Okay, yeah. They what? No. What? Hold on here. Well. What? I'm confused. See, I'm not going to get out of my car because he may tell me that it's too early. It's too early. I'm not going to go in there that early. It doesn't make any sense. I'll wait and see. I'm going to just go in at my normal time around 4:50-ish. I'm not going to try to go in. But yeah. So don't try to eliminate things that are so-called bad. Like people say, oh, I got to eliminate stress out of my life. Well, it depends. Certain things, certain stressors are there by design to push you forward. Stress is bad when it overwhelms you. Again, it goes back to balance, moderately. All right. It's like being awake and being asleep. People who are awake too much don't get the right chemicals to their brain. The serotonin and melatonin levels in the brain are supposed to be balanced to keep you awake and to help you sleep. All those things are all part of the great circadian rhythm that's part of our internal clock. When the sun is out, we tend to be awake. When the sun goes down, when the sun is set, we tend to start to, get a little sleepy. We wind down, which is why we sleep with the lights off. All right. The darkness helps increase the melatonin hormone, which keeps us asleep. So being awake and asleep are two opposite things, but you see, you need both in order to function. People who sleep too much, it's not good either. It's not healthy. I mean, something's wrong with you. You lack energy. You're in the bed too much. What's going on? You're not moving. But people who are always awake, who don't get sleep, they don't think straight, they're frustrated. So you can even in the example that I'm giving to you right now with sleeping and being awake, that's the perfect example of how we're supposed to take both things, dual concepts, and make it work for good. Sleeping and being awake are two things that can be used for good. Is sleeping a bad thing? No, but sleeping too much is. Is being awake a bad thing? No, but being awake without sleeping is bad. A lot of people who suffer mental illness, they go weeks and weeks without sleeping. I know from personal experience, not from my personal experience, but someone in my family has gone through that. They'll go weeks and weeks and weeks without sleeping, literally without sleeping. They may get a 1-2 hours here or there, but the residual impact of that behavior of lack of sleep, it tends to start to, have a snowball effect. And that snowball effect, expresses itself in mental deficiencies and mental gaps where the person is not thinking clearly. So, yeah, we don't eliminate sleep, nor do we eliminate being awake. We take both and make it work for good. That's the point that I'm trying to make here. So when I had this week, I had a level of anxiety, but I don't think I expressed that to y'all. I just said, I think I was driving the car and I was like, yeah, guys, I'm going to have a lot to do this week. This is one of my busiest week. You could tell from my voice that I had, that I was looking ahead of what was to come. That's normal. But when I got there, I faced my challenges and I attacked it. And it's still going on. Today's the last day. But I feel good about Wednesday. I feel good about yesterday, which was Thursday. And today's Friday. I have the confidence now to know that I'm going to knock it out. I'm almost at the finish line. So that's how things work, guys. Don't beat yourself up too much. Just know how to use both things of your life, both the negative and the positive, to use it to benefit you. All right, don't let anything overwhelm you at all. Don't let it. You say how? Well, knowing. That's how. It's all about your mindset. If you think that those negative things in your life are so severely drastic that you're not supposed to even have them exist in your life, then that in itself, the thinking process, your psychology or your philosophy towards those dual concepts or those dual components can play a heavy part into how you internalize those things and how you externalize those things. So in other words, how you think about the things of your life is a bigger factor than, let me just follow this 5-step program on how to do this. There's no steps programmed to anything. There's not, these people who write these books, 3 steps to doing this, that's nonsense. There's nothing. A God has to contend and deal with his reality no matter what. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. The only thing you can do is know what you're in, have knowledge about what you're in. All right? Because that's why they say knowledge is power. Because when you lack knowledge and you have ignorance, then you start to fill gaps with, things, superstition. You start to fill gaps with, hocus pocus nonsense. You start to put things in theory, nothing in practical, nothing pragmatic, nothing practical. You just start using theory to try to rationalize the things in your life or have some sort of explanation to how things operate. And I mean, hell, if you do that, then you're never going to be able to face your reality. There comes a time where you have to face your reality. There comes a time where the baby is cute, But at some point, the baby's going to take a shit, and you're going to have to clean the shit. Cleaning the shit when the baby shits is a reality that you have to face. Externally, it looks great. But you have to wipe the baby's ass. You have to change the diaper. There's hard work that's involved in everything. As beautiful as it is for a woman to be pregnant, there's a labor process, a painful process for that woman to push that baby out. So it's your mindset. It's how you think life is supposed to be. It's your erroneous expectations that are not rooted in reality that's causing people to be sad. When you have this expectation that you're supposed to not feel this and not feel that, and then you feel those things, you feel like there's something wrong with you, that's the problem, because you have this misdirected thinking or misnomer that you're not supposed to feel certain things. Oh, I'm not supposed to feel this. Yes, you are. There's a reason why you feel that, because your body's telling you to feel that. But now we need you to tap into the opposite thing too, to have the balance. So that's why it's very good to be reflective and always taking a retroactive glance at certain things that you've accomplished in your life. So sometimes you have to pull on the things that you've accomplished before to give you confidence. You have to use your past experiences. But it's hard to use your past experiences if you're always in this self-defeatist mentality and like, oh, this, oh, that. Nah. Don't let anything overwhelm you guys. And I'm not telling you guys something that I don't do. I'm not here talking a good game. I actually do it. You guys see me Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm consistent. I'm consistent going to the gym. Now, if I don't go, it's because maybe an emergency happens. I do have kids. Life does happen. So sometimes you're not going to be always consistent with certain things because things happen. But for the most part, I'm consistent with what I do. When I told you guys weeks ago that I'm going to start doing yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I like the feeling of working out and breaking a sweat. That I like the euphoric feeling. I have been doing that consistently. My wife looked at me the other day. She was like, man, I don't know how you do it. How do you get up on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I get up at 3:45. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I get up around 4. I get up at 4, actually, because I have a little bit more time. Because I'm doing the yoga in the house. I don't have to travel. I don't have to drive to a gym. I get my mat out in the living room. I put on my little yoga video. It's an hour. I do an hour of yoga. It's stretching, and I'm sweating. And I'm not running or jumping, but all the stretches and holding it and doing this and doing that, hey, it's not as easy as it thinks. I know back then in my ignorance, I used to think yoga, oh, that's for little girls, or that's weak. Because, man, we think that lifting weights and doing this and doing that is what's going to make you. No, man. When you incorporate different types of workouts in your regimen, oh, man, your body is going to reap great benefits from that because you're shocking your body. Your body doesn't know what you're going to do next. So I've been doing that. When I commit to something, I do it. I don't care how painful it is. Like, there's sometimes I don't want to get up. Sometimes I plan on going to bed around 8. No, I plan on going to bed at 9. I hate going to bed after 9 o'clock because I understand that I need at minimum 6 hours of sleep. There's sometimes I don't get 6 hours of sleep. I could just stay my ass in bed and be like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to go today. I can't do that. Because if I don't go to the gym that day or get up to do my yoga workout, the feeling that I'm going to have of not getting up is much worse than the feeling I have of getting up, being tired. I'm gonna say that again so you guys can catch that. If I stay my ass in bed, let's say I'm too tired, and I tell myself, there are some days that I'm like that. I'm like, oh man, maybe the kids were crying at night, maybe something happened in the middle of the night that interrupted my sleep, and I couldn't sleep through and through. And let's say I don't get good sleep. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm going to just not go today. I'm going to just stay home and sleep. As great as that might feel to me, and actually it's impossible because it'd be hard for me to sleep because I'll start thinking like, man, why am I not getting up? Man, I'm supposed to go to the gym. And I'm not going to be able to sleep anyway. I'm going to end up getting up. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, for this conversation that I did go to sleep. I said, oh, no, I don't feel like going. I'm just stay in bed. After I get up, when I get up to actually go to work without going to the gym that day, the feeling that I'm going to hold onto is much worse than how I would feel than if I would have got up. Because then I would feel like, man, I didn't go. And I start to feel a certain way. Like, really? Why did I not go? I normally go. Man, I got to go now. I'm going to keep beating myself up all day about that. That's what drives me to consistency. is feeling of failure, feeling of consistency, and feeling of being disciplined to my commitments that I make to myself, not to anybody else. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody else. I'm not trying to prove anything to a God, because I don't believe in that, the kind of God you guys believe in. I believe in source, and I believe that source is in all of us. We have the responsibility to carry ourselves and govern ourselves as gods. That's our duty, not to be praying to anything external. Animals don't pray, trees don't pray, insects don't pray. No other high level of beings with a higher state of consciousness don't pray. I'm gonna do a video one day and show you guys that Hawkins consciousness scale that I showed you guys on my lecture on melanin. You're gonna see that the higher you ascend, there's no worship in anything. It's just you exist. Now do the best with what's in your ecosystem. Operate the best you can in this third dimensional realm, even with all the limited things that we have living in this continuum of a time-space capsule. Do the best you can within this current reality. So yeah, that's what drives me. So anyways, 4:51. I'm going to stop here so I can get my bags ready. But thank you guys again for indulging me for another morning workout talk. Remember, have balance. Don't try to eliminate anything. Use both good and bad in your life for the best of you. They're there for a reason. You can't try to eliminate the bad all the time. That's insanity. All right? All right. Take care.